one's for you, Tim. Yeah. It's about a dovecot. It's about a dovecot in Bruton. Kind of. Dovecot in Bruton. The whimsical wood. In the whimsical wood is where the dovecot stood, away from light and power and magic. It grew too cold and soon was tragic. Then the whimsical woodsman came along in his way with an axe, and he sang his song, and levelled the trees which had stood there long, and let the light shine in. And the dovecot stood in the whimsical wood, just waiting for a dove to fly down from above, and give it a sign it was true and good. Finally one day, when the woodsman was asleep, down flew a pair of doves, the dovecot to keep, and they made their nests with a coo and cheep cheep, gently rolling their soft vowel sounds to the woodsman asleep. Inside his dream he was wide awake, aboard a great ark like Noah did make, and along from the skies came a wandering dove, who dropped an olive twig in his palm and spoke of love. All around him was a flood, like around the dovecot stood the wood, and he knew not just what about business he should, unless it was to speak of love. And as he did, the waters receded, and as the trees that once he had seeded, his ark it reached the land. Well, then he awoke from his own dream, to find who had spoke was a dove on a beam. Coo-cooing here and there, they flew in a pair, but startled when he moved and flew into the air. Come back, he pleaded and pleaded, but his cries they went unheeded. So he sat back down in a torpor, and stewed like a tea bag left too long in the water. Finally he grew black and bitter. What need have I of trees, without love nor birds nor bees? I may live in my wood of high walls, and if another high tree falls, it will not be by my hand at all. I will live here in the dovecot, penthouse quarter. So he laid down his axe and began to relax inside the walls of his new dovecot home. That evening on the breeze, he thought he smelt the smell of seas. He saw the rustle of the leaves, and then in the dovecot's eaves spied his first love, the dovecot owner's daughter. Hey there, come down, he coaxed her. She gave a coo and fluttered and flew, and he saw it was a dove, return not the daughter. Though sad yet relieved to find hope in the eaves, he fed the little bird some grain, and it was bad, he believed, to build high walls of pride made of leaves, just to hide and cover up his pain. So he resolved the next morning, without further warning, to break the spell of longing on the whimsical wood. He took his axe and his belongings and set out through the thronging to carve out a new pathway made for good. The going it was hard, oftentimes dangerous. At night he stood guard for wolves or bears, quite treacherous. Underfoot sometimes rock or stone, from the sky sometimes thunder, rain or blistering sun. Down the valley and uphill he used his woodland skill to make a path to freedom. From the whimsical wood kingdom, past the hives of honeyed beedom, to the land of shrilling shrill. Once his path was made, he then became afraid that others might tread down his road. But determined not to be a toad, he would carry the load and deal with the consequences, be they light or shade. One day while he was chopping, near a time he thought of stopping, a lovely maiden upon him strode. She looked like sunshine popping through the leaves as they are dropping, and his heart it gave a coo like in a dove's abode. She smiled and sat down near him, and he stopped when she began to sing. A song of love, I have been told. And from that day his heartache mended, no more high walls of pride to be offended. What's more, the doves came back to their woodland hold. And that's the end. Thank you very much.